this is our lesson today for doing for April 2nd. So basically, we're looking at measures of central tendency. You guys have already gone through a couple of videos, Khan Academy quizzes, and done some work with this, but I sort of wanted to run through it myself. So we've got three measures of central tendency. So we've got our mean, which is the sum of the values in the set divided by the number of values in the set. So we'll run through an example, but you're going to sum the top and then count how many numbers you had as your divisor or denominator. For our median, it's the middle value in a set when the values are arranged in numerical order. So that's pretty critical. We want to make sure that we always arrange our values in numerical order to find our median. And then if we have an even number, we're going to have to take the average between the two numbers that would actually be in the middle. And then for the mode is just the value that appears the most often. All right, so let's see if I can move down. We'll move down to our first example here. So we've got some bowling scores. Oh, man. All right, here we go. Sorry about this. All right, so our bowling scores, we've got two players, Caleb and Kim. They've played 3 games of bowling. Caleb had 151 for the first game. All right. Had 151 for the first game, had 153 for the second game, had 146 for their third game. Kim had 121 for her first game, 139 for her second game, and 189 for her third game. So what we want to do is we want to calculate out the mean and the median for both these players. So for Caleb, like it had set up above, the mean is the sum of the values in the set divided by the number of values. So we're going to add 151 plus 153 plus 146. All right. And so when we do that, we end up getting a value of 450. And now we're dividing it by how many numbers we have. So we've got 3 numbers. So when we divide it, we end up having a mean of 150. All right. And for our median, we want to put the numbers. So this is our mean is equal to that. For our median, right? Median, all we want to do is put them in order. So if I look, 146 should be my first number. I'll do a comma to separate them. 151 is my second number for Caleb, and then 153 is the third number for Caleb. And all I want is the middle number. So we see that 151 is our middle number. So our median is 151. So I'm just going to put this up here. So my mean for Caleb was 150, and my median was 151. All right, so now for Kim. And I'm just going to scroll this up a little bit because I'm running out of room. So let me just go up. So for Kim, I'm going to use a different color. We'll use red. So Kim had her mean. Looks like I lost the M here. Let me put that M over there. My mean is 122 plus 139 plus 189. All divided by, she had 3 scores, or 3 games, so we're going to divide it by 3. When we add this up, we again get 450 divided by 3, and we end up having a mean of 150. Okay. Now when we do the median, we have to put them in order, which they already are. So we have 122, 139, and 189. So our mean is our middle number. So our middle number is 139. So we're going to put that in there. So if I looked at these results, I'd say, okay, they both have the same mean, right? They both have 150. But what's a better representation of how they are as bowlers? Let me just make that 3 a little bit better. So in this case, the mean would say, oh, they're pretty much the same type of bowler. But if we look at Kim's numbers are a little bit, there's quite a bit of variety there, right? She's 122, 139, 189. Caleb's pretty consistent. He's 151, 153, 146. So in this case, the median is a very good indicator of their bowling skill, right? Caleb's pretty consistent, 151. Kim is 139. Average wise, it works out. Or mean wise, it works out that they're the same. But Kim had this one game where she was really high versus the other 2 games where she wasn't. So that's just how we can use mean and median to compare data sets. All right, we're just going to move down to our next example. I'm going to try to keep this brief. I guess I'm up to 6 minutes already. So let me just move down to our next example. So now they bowled one more additional game. Okay, let me just erase these things. So they did one more additional game. This time, the 4th game, Caleb scored a 150. Kim scored a 175. So let's see how that changed their means and their median. So again, I'm going to use Caleb. I'm going to use him blue. So mean. So we have now 151 plus 153 plus 146 plus 150. My kids are in the background if you can hear them. They're not too loud, but so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. So I divide them by 4. And when I add up their numbers on top, I get 600 divided by 4. So 600 divided by 4 is 150. And you can see, he had an average already of 150. So the fact that we had a 150 in that game, it wasn't really making it change too much, but we had to run through the process. So we had a mean of 150. All right, last for median, not last step. For median, we have to go and say, okay, I'm going to put these in order. 146, 150, 153, and looks like I missed one, huh? All right, let's go like this. See, Mr. Strang made a mistake. So we're going to go 151 and then 153. So when I'm doing that, it's probably easier if as I do it, I cross them out, right? So 146, 150, and then I would have went, okay, 151's next, 153. So an easy way just to keep track of that. So if I look at this, my middle numbers are 150 and 151, right? So in this case, what I need to do is I need to take the 2 numbers, and you know what? I'm gonna change to a different color here just to show you. Partition it with a red line. Okay, so I am going to take 150 plus 151 divided by 2, and that is going to give me what that value is, right? So if I add those together, I get 301 divided by 2. 301 divided by 2 gives me 150.5. Okay. So the median is 150.5. All right. So that is Caleb's mean and median. All right. And now I don't really have a lot of space to do Kim's values. So what I'm going to do is I am going to move on to the next part of the video because I am getting up to 9 minutes right now, and I don't really want to go too much longer than that. So what I'll do is I'm just going to scroll up, and I am going to have you guys figure out the mean and median for Emma and Ian. Okay, so Emma had a game of 135, 165, 143, and 170. And Ian had a game where he got 145, 155, 148, and 152. So your job now is to find what the mean and median are for Emma and Ian. And I'll pause and you guys work on it, write it out, and then you have to submit your answers. And then when you come back, we'll finish this off. Okay, so now that you're back, so for Emma, let's see. So for Emma, we would have our mean. Oops, I got to change it to a pen. All right, so our mean, and this is for Emma. Okay, and too close there. All right, so now my mean is equal to 135 plus 165 plus 143 plus 170, all divided by 4. So when I do that, I get on top, I get 613 divided by 4, and that comes out to be 153.3 for the mean. Okay. Now for our median, what we want to do is I'm going to put them in order. So they're not in order right now. So I'm going to go 135, cross that out, 143, cross that out, 165, cross that out, and 170, cross it out. So my middle numbers are 143 and 165. So now for my median for Emma, I'm going to go 143 plus 165 divided by 2. And so on this, we're going to get 308 divided by 2, which gives me 154 as my value. So I'm just going to put in 154 here. Okay. So that's what we got for Emma. So a mean of 153.3 and a median of 154. I'm just going to erase this last part, and we'll do what we got for Ian and Emma. And then there's going to be one more question at the very end of this video. All right. And actually, I think I'm just going to end the video there.